you should already know what this is. And for those of you that aren't, just chill. See, we're gonna get down to the other stuff here in a second. But what I'm always trying to get everybody to understand is everything is vibration. So, before we do anything else, let me welcome you to the Scorpio moon vibe. Welcome to Scorpio season. But I'm sick of your stupid ass, and I know you're tired of me. That's why I say together we never turn our backs on each other. Oh, but now make sure y'all hit the like button as you come in the door. Just vibe. The sun is in Scorpio. The moon is in Cancer. Just right. Make sure y'all hit the like button as you come in the door. And in doing so, understand this is not about ego. No. This is about algorithm. This just helps us expand the platform. That way, if you're not trying to hear what I'm trying to say, at least we can get out to the next motherfucker who is. Yeah. And look, if you haven't smiled yet today, now would be the perfect time to do so. And if you can't find a smile for yourself, please allow me to be the smile on your face. Because at the end of the day, all I am is the smile on your face. All I am is the motherfucking vibe. And as I said, I'd like to formally welcome you to Scorpio season. And see, when we're in Scorpio season, things operate at extremes. And we'll talk more about it here in a minute. That also means there's a very, very thin line between love and hate. Yeah. Better be careful who you playing with, because it's going to hit deep. Hey, we're about $27 from our quota here on YouTube this month. So I need y'all to hit that super sticker, that super thanks, and that super chat. We need to hit that today. So everything else after this is extra. No. Let's hear it one more time. There's an important message in this. You better be careful who the fuck you playing with. Because some people don't play about their motherfucking feelings. Welcome to Scorpio season. Yeah. Mother of John. Let me hang up your coat, and the woman tells me, pass me your hat too. All the time she smiles, never raises her voice. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Between love and hate, it's a it's a thin line between love and hate. Between love and the sweetest woman in the world can be the least woman in the world. If you make her that way, you keep on hurting, she keeps being quiet. She might be holding something inside. Here I am laying in the hospital, bandaged from feet to head. Listen to it. See, I'm in a state of shock, baby. Just that clutch from being dead. Yeah. I didn't think my woman could do something like this to me. I didn't think she had the nerve. So here I am. I guess action speaks louder than words. Between love and it's a thin line. It's a thin line. Between love and hate. It's a thin line between love and hate. Between love and hate. Little lady. Yes, she did. Make her that way. You keep on hurting her. She keeps being quiet. She might be holding something inside that could really hurt you one day. And we're gonna get into the astrology in just a minute. It is hump day. It is Scorpio season. So let's vibe. It's a thin line. It's a thin line. You know it. It's a thin line. It's a thin line. It's a thin line. You know it. It's a thin line. I ain't gonna never cross your line. I don't never wanna do you no wrong. I said I won't come out in the morning no more. You never came look for me. Never step in the doorway. I'm always coming in early. I'm there. That's a vibe. So, we're going to take just a few minutes to let a few more people trickle in. And then we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. So, today I'm going to touch on the transits and elaborate on the aspects that might be affecting you. We're going to speak on what Scorpio season means for us all. But then after that, I'm going to open the floor up for any questions that you may have. Because this is something priceless to get your Scorpio season jumping. And that means this is going to be a vibe session. It's going to be a question and answer session. So we're going to go deep into anything that you want to know. All right. But yeah. If you think you're lonely now, you better wait until tonight. I want to dedicate this song to all the lovers tonight. And I expect that might be the whole world, because everybody needs something or someone to love. Just vibe. When it's cold outside, who are you holding? This is Scorpio season. You know, I'm finna take you down through there. The moon is in Cancer, so we're gonna take it back. She's always complaining about me never being at home. But when I'm there, I'm broke. She's telling me about the things that a girlfriend's got, what she ain't got. And she want me to go out and get them for her. But girl, I can't be in two places at one time. If you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight, girl. I'll be long gone. That boy said he'll be long gone. When I ain't there to rub your back, just remember I made it your own back. And the skeletons come out of the closet and chase you all around your room. And the memories still run like a ghost and dance around in a fast, slow tune. If you think you're lonely now, well, oh, wait until tonight. Man. I'll be long gone. And you never found another man that'll bring you right. You think you're lonely now. Oh yeah. We got the sun in Scorpio, we got the moon in Cancer. You might just find yourself in your feelings. Make sure y'all hit the like button as you come in the door. And in doing so, understand this is not about ego. No, this is about algorithm. This just helps us expand the platform. That way, if you're not trying to hear what I'm trying to say, at least let us get out to the next motherfucker who is. Yeah, everything is vibration.
Too far gone. Jacking us now.
This is that Scorpio vibe. Everybody ain't to be played with. You gonna fuck around and find out.
But everybody needs somebody to love. It's good that you know that you got somebody that'll stand by your side, that'll fill you up when you're falling down. And you have that someone, baby. Cause I've done my time. It's your turn now. If you think you love, wait, this is right. I'm tired of this same old second time. It's been too long. To think of you start again. It's been too long. To think we could start just one more.
But let me also say, it won't be so lonely if you stay.
Talk, just listen. First of all, I have to be honest with you, baby. I lied when I told you I never want to see you again. Can you stay, baby? Just for tonight, and maybe
I've known every word to this song since I was 4 years old.
make love, watch the sunrise, or listen to JoJo, KC, sing us a verse. Swat, that's the process, baby.
It's Scorpio season.
Feels so sexy.
The moon is in Cancer. The other stuff in just a second. But first, Let me take you back though, cause I remember who you used to be. Let's just vibe. This is the last one, probably. Maybe one more after. Then we're gonna get into everything going on astrological. Let this Cancer moon get you in your feelings. The girls got pretty good love. Ask me how I know.
And I'll tell you so. You used to be my girl. I respect her. When she was mine, I used to neglect her. Oh, she wanted more than I could give. But as long as I live, she'll be my girl. She used to be my girl. She used to be my girl.
This is the Scorpio sun, Cancer moon vibe if I ever heard one.
The girl was so right for me. She's my girl. I had a chance, I don't know how to take her back. As a matter of fact, right away, same day. Not only good looking, the girl was so smart, you can't beat her cooking. Ask me how I know.
And I'll tell you so.
She used to be my girl. Deep down inside, I still love her. Place no one above her. She's warm and sensitive. For as long as I live, she'll be my girl. If I had a chance, I'd take her back. Oh no, as a matter of fact, right away, fine day. The girls got plenty good love and ask me how I know, and I'll tell you so. She used to be my girl, my girl. She used to be my girl. She used to be my girl. I wouldn't lie or things like she that. Used to be my girl. She used to be my girl. I know you don't believe me, but she used to be my girl. She used to be my girl. She used to be my girl. She used to be my
This is the last one we're gonna take it here.
Swear I'll never call you bitch again. You ain't fucking with me, never call you bitch again. I swear I'll never call you bitch again. All I just wanna say, I fucking apologize.
This is one of Pac's most poetic jams.
I'll never call you bitch again. Damn. Gave my homie 90 days for domestic violence. I try to picture myself in this position, but remain silent. I get to thinking about this shit we been through. We close like kin, but you remain my friend too. It's like a sin that got the both of us in trouble, but you always stay down for a nigga, so that's why I love you. Reminiscing, needing tissues, fighting over childish issues. Swear I can't live with you, but without you every day I miss you. When roll you hold my pistol, my gangster bitch hit you. Always in the mood for love, that's why I'm sleeping with you. Though not the man of your dreams, my plan is schemes to be rich like a king and live my life trouble free. I see yesterday I called your names and played games on your mind. I promise that I'll change in time. It's a complicated world, so girl, just be a friend.
I swear I'll never call you bitch again.
That's my word.
Oh, Tyrese.
to throw it all away.
I swear I'll never call you bitch again.
Believe it.
Oh.
We came way too far, pretty baby.
I swear I'll never call you bitch again. Hey, I wake up early in the morning. At the crack of dawn, niggas still tired, so I'm yawning. And now I'm gone, trying to get my money on strong. So an early ride for the mother God. That's the way to profit every time. Can't get too close, my enemies, they see ghosts, they envy me. Plus we been beefing with the East Coast. And casualties got stopped in traffic, had a warrant, so they care for me. But while I'm gone, watch my business and my back for me. My enemies think they got me crossed, they ain't on. Ain't no love for player haters where you cowards going. You paid bail, got me out of jail, home again. I promise not to leave you on your own again. Crystal corpse of pop, romantic, thoughts are drop. It's so frantic, but don't panic, cause we crossed the top. I found a partner and a rider, a woman and friend. I swear I never call you bitch again. Believe it.
You know I'm so far. Throw it all away.
I swear I never call you bitch again. Believe it. I know it's time. Just gotta give it this time to grow up, you know what I'm saying? That was way back then. I swear I never call you bitch again.
My best friend, I swear I'm gonna call you a bitch again.
That's a jam right there, man.
Witness the evil men do all the shit I've been through. Never meant to hurt you. Can we make this work through? I know you've been feeling pain. Things are not the same. Waiting to excel while I'm sitting in the county jail. Keep your head up, cause things are getting better. My cellmate shed tears on your last love letter. Told him you would find a friend, so keep your eyes peeled. Sorry if I cuss, but it's the suffering that I feel. Who can I trust? And if I bust when she snitch, even though you ain't the type to trip. Sorry if I called you bitch, you showed me the definition of feminine. The difference between a pack of bitches and black women. I see the board for the third time. Hope to see you soon. Pictures of us kissing in the living room in the nude. Thanks for being there, much more than a friend. I swear I never call you bitch again. Believe it.
To throw it all away.
I swear I'll never call you bitch again. Believe it.
Yeah. To throw it all away.
I swear I'll never call you bitch again. Believe it.
Yeah, man.
Now, before we go any further, I need to implore everybody that gets a chance to go check out Blue Aliens. That's www.blu3aliens.com. Actually, the link is pinned there in the chat. So all you got to do is click that link. It'll take you to a website. They got some awesome astrology shirts. They got some crystals. They got some THCA gummies that'll help get your mind right, but also keep you perfectly legal in most places. They have shrooms. They have other goodies that shall remain nameless. So go check them out. And while you're there, use promo code PrIcElEs. Because when you use that, you'll get 15% off of any order over $15. But you'll also be showing me some support. But just go in there is showing some support to the Witcher on these hoes, who is one of our valued tribal council members. And once again, that's the Witcher on these hoes. Not just the Witcher. You got to say the whole thing like a pimp named Slickback. The Witcher on these hoes. So shout out to the Witcher on these hoes. And make sure y'all go check out Tigger's World. That's another Vibe Tribe member. They are, or Tigger, he does entertainment reviews, kind of. He speaks on anime and other stuff, and he just gives his breakdown of what's really happening and the psychology behind the writing behind it, and it's really cool and in-depth. And also go check out The Holistic Mystic here on YouTube. That's one of my partners, Maria. She's an amazing astrologer in her own right. She does tarot, but she's also really trying to help people get into holistic living. And then go check out Anchoring Divinity. That's my apprentice. And she's going to be dropping more content, but she just done got herself knocked up. So shout out to Love 12. But yeah. And if you're on Facebook, go join Star. Yeah, you know who the fuck we are. That's the Society of Tarot and Astrology Readers. And I'm gonna let you know, once you go join this group, you need to understand, this is a shit posting group. So we play a lot. We might roast your ass, but as long as you can check your feelings and your ego at the door, you can have a great time. And we're a very supportive community. Yeah, we gonna talk shit. Yeah, we play. Yeah, we thirst trap. Yeah, there can be some scandals, but still, if somebody needs something, we're always there. And there are several subgroups that come along with Star. There's Stone Starlings, for those of us that like to get our smoke on. There's Spiritual Starlings, for those of us that want a more esoteric experience. There's the Seeking Sage, for those of us that are gamers or those of us that are into anime and comics. There is Snack, which is a more culinary experience. There is Raising Stars, for those of us that are parents. There is the Star Elder Circle of Superiority, which is for those of us that got some gray hairs, or for those of us that are Pluto and Scorpio and before. What else is there? There's the Society, which is a paid club. And it only costs a few dollars, but once you pay, you're into an exclusive area. There's several chats that are with the Star groups. And if you're looking for a more educational experience, if you're simply there for knowledge and learning, you can go check out the Tarot and Astrology Academy. All right. There are groups for artists also. Starlight's in Space. So there's avenues for everything. But first you have to join the original group, Star. That's the Society of Tarot and Astrology Readers. Yeah, you know who we are. And then also go follow my personal business page, Priceless Knowledge of Self. And go join my group, Priceless Knowledge of Self, because we're trying to get that group more active. There's maybe like 1,400 members just in that group, and that's not very many. We need to get them numbers up, and we need to get it more active. All right. I also implore y'all to go join the Tribal Council here on the channel. That means go support this right here. I think it costs maybe $4 or $5 a month, but in doing so, you'll also be supporting the channel. But you get some, you do get some exclusive privileges that come along with that. Let's not get it twisted. All right. And so now that that's out of the way, before I get into what's going on astrologically, I need y'all to understand, this is Priceless Knowledge of Self. We are the Vibe Tribe. There are thousands of us all over the world. So we're not thirsty for subscribers. No, we're not hungry for attention. No, we're here to raise this vibration with knowledge and information. So we're going to talk about astrology and numerology and all types of stuff that help you understand yourself and energy better and thus raise your vibration. And it ain't going to be for everybody. So if it ain't for you, swipe up, bitch. Because if you come in on some troll shit or some fuck shit, either myself or my constituents, meaning my moderators, are going to ban you immediately. I'm talking about exile you expeditiously. And it has nothing to do with hate, because that's what you're doing. No, this is out of love. Because as I just stated, we have a vibration to maintain. And so if you come in on some different shit, you are separating yourself from that. So you'll be able to observe, you just won't be able to participate. But that's your fault. You excluded yourself. You understand? And so, if you feel like you're here to learn a little something and vibe with us, welcome to the Vibe Tribe. You are now a part of the Priceless family. If you can't handle it, if you need attention, swipe up, bitch. Now, shout out to Beats by Bless on Our Music. He made this.
Perfect.
This is actually called Swipe Up, Bitch. Yeah. Now, Let's talk about what's going on cosmically. See, the sun as we speak is sitting at 0 degrees of Scorpio. So this is where shit gets deep. This is where things intensify. This is where shit changes. This is where things take on an extreme tone. It's one way or the other. There is no gray area. This is where things get a little darker, a little deeper. This is where you have to try to control your sexual nature without repressing it. That's like a riddle. How can you control your sexual nature without repressing it? And then you have the sun square to Pluto. So man, there's gonna be some intense stuff going on that makes it hard for you to control it. This is Scorpio and Capricorn. See, Pluto is still sitting at 29 degrees of Capricorn. So that's about control. So you have some intense stuff going on. How do you control it without creating frustration? How can you channel this energy appropriately without crippling yourself or going crazy? Yeah, man. This is where shit hits a little deeper. This is where it is life or death. This is where life takes on a lot more depth. Yeah. Welcome to the intensity. Can you feel that? Just let it seep in. Yeah, man. Scorpio season. The sun is square to Pluto. This is where shit gets devious. Scorpio and Capricorn. I don't think it's more dangerous than that. Gemini can be mischievous, but there's not any more dangerous energy than when Scorpio and Capricorn are involved. And this is 0 degrees of Scorpio and 29 degrees of Capricorn. So you have the aneretic degree, and then you have this pure expression of Scorpio energy with the 0 degrees. Oh yeah, shit just got deep. Once again, I ask you, how can you control your sexual nature without repressing it? As crazy as this sounds, this could be a matter of life or death. You repress it, there's this stuff that builds up inside of you that could become a danger to you or the situation. If you don't control it, you could get yourself into some issues. I don't think you heard me though. Yeah. Now, this is also a great time for money because this is where you pull your resources. There's not a more resourceful energy than Scorpio energy. And with the sun in Scorpio square to Pluto in Capricorn, and it being 0 degrees of Scorpio and 29 degrees of Capricorn, shit can get devious. Devilish. Oh, man. Who's gonna come out in control? It's like in every situation you're fighting for control, there's power dynamics at play. In your personal relationships, in your interactions with strangers. I saw this play out between me and my son last night, of all things. And I also want to say it probably had to do with the moon being in Cancer, but and Mars being opposite to my Mars in Capricorn too. I think that had something to do with it. And so I picked my son up last night from football practice. And without going too deep into the story, he wasn't suited up for practice like the other football players. My son's 15. And I said something to him. I said, why aren't you suited up for practice? He said, well, somebody fell on me. My hip hurts. Now, instead of being compassionate, like I should have been, I started thinking about being from West Texas and thinking about this is football. He should be being tough. So I kind of jumped onto him and said, hey, man, you being too fucking soft. This is football. You're not injured. You're hurt. But every player is hurt from the beginning of the season. You got to get out there. And he kind of started getting an attitude. And so when he got an attitude, I caught an attitude. Motherfucker, you got me fucked up. And then pride was involved. Now, this Scorpio sun for me is square to my Mercury in Leo at 0 degrees. This is all happening for me in real time. And then Pluto's opposite to my Mercury. So I have these both hitting right there. And so it became a matter of pride, because as soon as he caught an attitude, which he had the right to do, because I'm sitting there calling him soft. He is my son, and you're not supposed to disrespect your parents, but I'm calling you soft. I openly called him soft, and I shouldn't have. This is my baby. And so my pride kicked in. I'm proud of where we're from and all this other shit. And I just said, hey, man, like, you being fucking soft. You could be the best running back in the fucking state if you would just take your ass to practice. He was throwing a fit on the sidelines of the football game last week because he didn't feel like he was getting opportunities. He was second string, and every time he got the ball, he busted a big-ass run. He had a 60-yard run, a 40-yard run, and like a 30-yard run. And like, he was just busting big-ass runs every time they put him in the game. And so he's like, man, put me in. And every opportunity he got, he went in there and shined. But the problem is, when he's in practice, he doesn't play the same. And he doesn't practice. He's always saying he's hurt doing this because he's tired. He's been doing this shit since the summertime. He didn't have a summer like the other kids. He's been doing football. This is what happens when you play high school football and you're playing varsity. And he plays varsity. He's a sophomore, so he plays varsity and JV. And they had like an L3, which is a freshman team that didn't have enough players. So there was a time where he was playing 3 football games a week. And so he gets fucking tired. He did practice and then 7-on-7 in the summer. Then he did training camp, and then he's in the season now. He has to go to school before the kids and stay after the other kids. He plays a 3-hour football game on Friday nights and sometimes 2 of them on Saturdays, but most of the time just 1. And so I get it. But last night I didn't have no understanding because my pride got involved. And as soon as he said something to me in the way that he said it, I took it personally, like, you get an attitude. And I was raised a certain type of way, even though I'm not raising my children like that. And as soon as he caught an attitude, I caught an attitude back. Now, the problem is this is my son, and he's only 15 years old, but he's close to my size. Now, I outweigh him probably by 60 pounds. But he's probably 3 or 4 inches shorter than me, and he's probably like 60 pounds lower than me. But he's a muscular kid. He's a teenager, and he kind of bucked up, and he told me to shut up. And so for me, I immediately started tripping. This is the sun square to Pluto, but it was also like a power dynamic. It even more than the disrespect, it was like I had to show him who's in charge. Like, you don't handle me like that. So I tripped out. And I really feel bad because I got too aggressive. I didn't do anything physical to him, and I never would. But I just kind of got in his face. As soon as he told me to shut up and he caught this attitude, I kind of got in his face and backed him down. Like, hey, man, who the fuck you talking to? And I didn't have to do that. That's my son. I love him. Today I feel really bad. But last night, it was like once I was in that mode of operation and I was acting like that. And once that power dynamic was at play to her, it was like, no, I have to, I'm asserting my authority. I'm asserting this is what I have going on. Nah, motherfucker, you're not going to play with me like that. And that's stupid. That's stupid. But I saw this, and then after, in retrospect, I can look and say, well, this is how it plays out. And I always tell y'all what happens in my personal life, because that way you can see how this relates back to normal life. That's the great thing about understanding it. So when you have the sun square to Pluto, there's like some power dynamics at play. And so, yeah, he got a little gangster, he got a little attitude, but you also have to understand that's going to be within their right to do in some ways. Now, as long as they keep it within a certain amount of respect, but these are young men and young women as they grow into teenagers. And my daughters, it was different. They never tried me. Like, we had arguments, but they're little girls, so it's completely different. But when you have this as a man, this male ego gets involved. And so when you have this male that's about your size kind of bucking up to you and you take it as a sign of disrespect, and then it's also your child, it's just like, oh no. But you also have to understand, this is what happens when people mature. They're going to stand up for themselves more. This is just not a little bitty baby anymore. So as they grow into men and women, they're going to want a different level of respect, and they're going to need to give that. But us as parents and us as people, and even in this situation, separating away from the astrology, in this situation, I have to be accountable because we're not dogs. Or we're not lions. This isn't the Serengeti. I didn't need to punk my fucking son and show him I'm the motherfucker that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't play with me like that because I'll beat you up, or you need to respect me more. And so we did have a talk, and I apologize, but and it's good, but I still feel bad because I shouldn't have really went there with my child. And I didn't threaten him or, like I said, put my hands on him. I just like got in his grill. And I am way bigger than him. I'm his dad. I'm loud. I'm intense and emotional when I get into that state. And so I was in his grill, like, who you talking to like that? You done lost your fucking mind. Who are you fucking talking to like that? And I didn't have to do that. But it was like there was power dynamics. And then even my wife, she's like, hey man, chill out. And then, like I said, it was a power play almost, because I told her, like, if you weren't doing this in front of them, and if they didn't think that they could run and say, well, he's being mean to me, then, and you would come talk to me and say, hey, we need to, then they wouldn't be doing a lot of this stuff. They wouldn't be so spoiled. They wouldn't be so soft, which is, it's crazy. It's a different day and age. This is not the same day and age as when I was a child. You get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying, though? It's not the same day and age. And I don't whoop my kids. I used to whoop my kids, but this is years ago. And my son is such a good kid. He's probably, in his whole life, only gotten one ass whooping. This one, my oldest one. My other sons, they've gotten tore up 1,000 and 1,000,000 times, my younger sons. But they're air signs, and they don't behave. He's a Leo. He has Virgo rising. My son is very, very well behaved. And he can't take the embarrassment of getting spanked when he was a kid, so he never got in trouble. But either way, it was like there was a power dynamic at play. And I realize it now because that's what it was about. It was more or less like, hey, motherfucker, I'm in charge here. I'm the, you know what I'm saying? And even with my ladies, like, no, you're cutting me off at the feet when you come in and play well, I don't want to say Captain Save-A-Ho, but, you know, when you come in and play savior the way this, and parents have these dynamics sometimes. It happens all the time with parents. But when I get onto the kids and say, hey, you stop getting onto him, or he's just doing this, or like, what you're doing is you're coddling them. And my point is, as a father, as a Mars in Capricorn, as a black man, is the world isn't going to coddle these boys. Yes, we're supposed to love them and be compassionate, and this is something that I want my children to experience that I didn't experience per se. But the world ain't going to fucking coddle them. The world ain't gonna do it. And so it was just one of those points where it's like, man, don't do that. Like, and it takes away from what I'm doing when you come in and say, hey, chill. And so, but she was just trying to get me to calm down and understand that he's just standing, you know, he's not trying to be disrespectful. I'm taking it as disrespect, but he's just standing up for himself. Like, I'm being a lot right now. And I respect my son to the point to where he does need to stand up for himself in a way. He doesn't. Now, he didn't need to be buck and tell me to shut up and all this other shit, because that's disrespectful. But it was just like there was a power play. And it was like, don't fucking don't cut me off when I'm trying to do what I'm doing with her. And with him, it was like, bad, I'm your dad. you're gonna back down and show me some fucking respect, when it doesn't have to be like that. You should want to show me some respect because I'm such a good dad and because I love you. And we had that talk, and he does feel that way. Hey, I'm a good dad. I love you. I'll do anything for you. I've been here for you since the day you were born. I've never been anything but supportive of you. I'm never abusive to your mom. I'm never abusive to you. I work no matter how I feel, and you know I've been going through it emotionally and inside of myself for the last 1.5 2 years. No matter what, I have showed up to work to make sure that we have what we need. No matter what, I've made sure that I show up to every one of your football games. I'm the loudest parent there. I'm in your corner. So you just need to understand that and sometimes I get a lot, and I should have thought about it before I jumped on you yesterday, because sports is supposed to be fun. He's still 15 years old. When it boils down to it, sports are supposed to be fun. But for me, it takes on a different pride because I'm from West Texas. We're from Texas. Yes, we live somewhere else, but it's like we got to show these kids all the time. And not only are we black, but it's like, hey, man, we're from fucking Texas. Football's different for us. We're like that. And that's stupid. It's false bravado. It's Mercury and Leo bullshit that I have. But that's just kind of basically what happened. Is it's just like, man, you're supposed to be out there practicing. You're the best, and my pride was involved. But for him, it's his sport. He's the one playing it. He's been doing this all fucking summer. He's been doing this for years now. Since flag football, then Pop Warner, then middle school football, then high school football. He's been doing this. I've been with him since day one. I used to take him out there and train him every day, football and basketball. Run laps with him. Like, as a dad, this is what I did. Teach him how to box, done all this stuff, but he still needs to be able to enjoy his life. And I need to be able to speak to him without speaking at him. And I also need to get rid of that need to back him down. I almost want to say punk him, because that's kind of what it was like. It's just like, who the fuck you talking to? I know you don't talk to me like that. You must want to fight. And I mean, I didn't say that, but that's what it seems like. That's what you're conveying to your child is, oh, who the fuck you talking to? You must want to fight because you're talking to me like that. And so it's like you buck up and you can't expect, if this is a man of principle that you're raising as a child, that's what I want to put it into perspective. If this is a man of principle that you're raising as a child, he's not going to back up. He's going to be respectful, but it's not like he's going to fold up and be a bitch. And my son is not. And so me doing that, it created a very tense moment, because he did back down because I'm his dad. But I shouldn't have done that. Like there was no need for that. And all of it would have been a different situation if I would have controlled myself off the rip. You dig what I'm saying? But it was like a pride-fueled, ego-tripping power struggle thing. It turned into that. But this is how these transits play out in real life, in real time. It's just a part of it, man. And we live and we learn, but still. Now let's talk about the moon.
90.
Let's talk about the moon. See, the moon, as we speak, is at 25 degrees of Cancer. So you might find yourself in your feelings. You might find yourself caught up in a memory. Yeah. Your family issues might take precedence. But this is where your emotions set the precedence. You're going to act on how you feel, because the moon is exactly conjunct to Mars. Oh yeah, especially over the next few hours. You better be careful with those feelings. Because not only is it the sun in Scorpio, so this shit is hitting a little deeper and it's going to be more intense than normal. But the moon is in Cancer conjunct to Mars. So those feelings of yours, those emotions can get the best of you. sometimes you're gonna realize after you have this outburst that that was extremely unnecessary. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Tina Claire Marie.
90.
My condolences to you. As somebody who's lost my mom, I'm always here if you need somebody to talk to. Now, the moon is not only conjunct to Mars, but it's also sextile to Uranus, trine to Neptune, and opposite to Pluto.
90.
So those feelings are going to be hard for you to control, but if you can keep calm, you might actually find an ingenious way to channel these feelings. Because there's definitely some creativity here. This is the moon and Mars conjunct to each other over these next few hours. Sextile to Uranus, trine to Neptune, and opposite to Pluto. So, respect yourself enough to find the appropriate channel for these emotions before they get the best of you. Because, please understand, with Mars and Cancer, this shit can get sticky real quick.
This is crazy.
And something that makes you feel some type of way right now could really have you acting out dynamically. And even if you don't act out dynamically in that moment, you're going to start to hold a grudge. And now these feelings are inside of you. And now that grudge is one of those things that has to be accounted for. See, that's the one thing some people forget. Is once you have resentment towards somebody, once you're holding a grudge about a situation, that grudge is something that you're going to have to account for until it's addressed. So yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with it. Yeah. But yeah, if you can find some type of way, somehow, to keep calm and channel these emotions creatively, you'll be straight. But this is like trying to catch the wind. This is like trying to eat soup with a fork. Yeah, I know. Ariel, you said it might be a crazy thing to say, but you wanted a polyamorous relationship with your 3 friends. You a Cancer, they a Taurus, a Aries, Libra, but you don't know how it's gonna be. Messy than a motherfucker. That's what I predict. What's up, Logan? But yeah, man, the moon is in Cancer, conjunct to Mars, so them feelings can get the best of you. And then you're gonna act on how you feel. And I promise you, you're gonna feel some type of way. You're gonna have some type of personal emotional response to just about everything. So those feelings that you have are gonna have to be accounted for in order for you to move appropriately. And if you can stay calm and account for them, you'll be great. So try to do something to comfort yourself and understand, hey, yeah, you have feelings. Everybody has feelings. But how you react to those emotions is everything. And then how you respond to the situations that you create because of those dynamic emotions is also a big part of this. So yeah, you and them feelings. But we all have them. It's a part of the experience. Hey, I appreciate the love, the water bearer. That's real. Where you at? Shout out to the water bearer. He just sent me a big something on CashApp. And I need a few more of y'all to hit that super sticker, that super thanks, or that super chat. We're about, now I'd say about $25 from our quota for the month on YouTube here. And we need that. I'm keeping it all the way 1,000. We need that. So if everybody can just do $4, $5, we can get it up there. But YouTube takes about, really about 40% of everything that's donated. All right? And so, in order for us to get the $27 that we need, we would probably need $40 total. And I think I would say we're averaging about 700 to 1,500 people watching each one of these live sessions. We should be able to hit that. We should be able to hit that. Easy. Anything else would be uncivilized. But yeah, that's what it is. And if you don't do anything else, smile right fucking now. But back to the transits. The moon is going to be approaching or applying this opposition with Pluto for the next 7 or 8 hours. All right? And that's going to play out in situations in our personal life. Those oppositions usually involve other people. Square can be an internal conflict or a situation that you have to contend with. But an opposition usually, in my estimation, involves other people. Because you're actually dealing with one energy personally and you're projecting the other one onto somebody else in your life. And so with the moon in Cancer opposite to Pluto in Capricorn right here, these feelings of yours might make it hard for you to be disciplined. And you might take something personal when it comes to a matter of respect. You dig? So, it'll be all right. Now, with the moon trine to Neptune, is where you be feeling some type of way. It's real easy to get caught up in a feeling. Real easy to get caught up in the idealization. It's real easy to let your imagination get the best of you. Yeah. Now you in your feelings. And then once you're in your feelings, you ain't seeing the situation as clearly as you should be. You ain't on this. I guess you just ain't on this. Ain't as on point as you could be. Yeah. What's up, Danny Bathe Brahma? What it was, mama. Y'all just vibe. I appreciate all of the moderators. Let's run it back.
3 months and I'm laying 3 to 1. Any case
How did I kick it? Like a water buffalo?
Peaceful aura. You said when the moon is in a sign that's in your natal chart, do you feel the effect stronger? Every sign should be in your natal chart somewhere, unless you have something intercepted. So you might be missing one sign, sometimes two, but most. Well, yeah, because there's an axis. If something is intercepted, then something else is going to be intercepted. So you might be missing two signs in your chart. But most of the time, everybody has that sign in some way, form, or fashion displaying in some area of their chart. And so, I don't know what you mean. If I can clarify, let me know. Now, Mercury is also in Scorpio. Hold on, somebody else just sent me something. Let me see what this says. Hold up. Hey, I appreciate the love, Kenada Joseph. I don't know who that is, but I ain't trying to put your government out there, but that's all I can see. Whoever just sent that cash app, thank you so much. Y'all really been showing love on the cash app. I need some of y'all to hit the super chat though. That's in the comments right there. You hit that money sign in the comment box or beside the comment box. That way I can hit the YouTube quota and I can end up getting paid for YouTube this month. What's up, Steel Cage? Shout out to the whole Vibe Tribe and everybody in the Vibe Tribal Council. Just let it seep in like steam. Now, Mercury is in Scorpio. So what can I say about Mercury being in Scorpio? Well, your thought process intensifies. People become hyper-focused, sometimes obsessed. People become just a little bit more compulsive. But people are able to hide it pretty well. People are able to disguise the fact that there's this peevish probing going on behind the scenes. Yeah. You are now under investigation. Yeah, I'm paying attention to everything that you're not saying. I'm picking up on all of those unspoken cues. See, let me put y'all up on game. When you ask somebody a question, and they say, like if you say, how old are you? And they say, 27. Most likely they're lying. I'm teaching y'all a little bit of the tricks I've learned. Because when they say, they're thinking. Now, sometimes they don't know how old they are. Thank you for the love, Danny Bethea Brahma. Sometimes some people don't, it's not right there on the top of their head, so there is a so that's not a 99% foolproof thing. I would say maybe 75-25. But it's not automatic, because if you ask somebody how old they are, there's something that should be automatic. How old are you? I'm 38. When they say, they're thinking about it. When you ask someone a question and they look up and to the left, a lot of the times they're looking for the lie. When somebody you ask them a question and it's not an automatic response, even if it's a non-verbal response. If they just look up, or they roll their eyes, or they sigh, or they start fidgeting. These are cues that this person might not be being honest. And this is the type of stuff that people pick up on with Mercury and Scorpio. Yeah, people are going to be listening. But when they're listening, they're not just paying attention to what you're saying. They're trying to figure out what you're not saying. And us as a whole are going to be more secretive. And because we're being secretive, it makes us suspicious of other people. See, that's the thing we don't speak about when we're talking about Scorpio. Scorpio's like, oh, you can't lie to me. I have Scorpio placements. I'm a Scorpio rising. I'm a Scorpio moon. I can't be lied to. Yes, you can be lied to, first of all. And second of all, you're only suspicious of people because you have ulterior motives. See, that's the thing that we forget about Scorpio energy. Is Scorpio energy is suspicious because they're devious. They understand human nature also. There's this thing that becomes very enamored with psychology and sociology when you're dealing with Scorpio energy. They want to know the meaning behind it. They want to know the motive. You dig? What's the motive? Is there a method to this madness? Chances are, with the human psychology, there is. But when we're dealing with this Scorpio energy here, and we're talking about Mercury being in Scorpio, this is where people become more investigative, maybe even a little intrusive. And this is where people want to keep their own thought process exclusive. That means people hold their thoughts as precious and useful to them and them alone. But because people know how much they're not saying, they start to be suspicious of what other people are not saying. Do you dig what I'm saying? This is what happens. It's an automatic process. When you start to think about psychology and how fucked up people can be. You think that way because you know how fucked up you can be, even if it's subconscious. And so it makes you suspicious. But more than anything else, this is where the thought process intensifies. People are going to have dirtier minds. They're going to have intense thoughts. This is where people are going to become enamored, obsessed. This is how I want to make you squirm until you confess. Yeah. When it comes to discernment, I've been blessed. I'm one of the best. Now, people are going to be tricky as a whole. Oh, really? Yeah. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be deep. And Mercury's trying to Saturn. And so people are sensitive to everything. Not just their self, but also situations. And so that can slow down things, even communication, because people are picking up on everything. It can also create some confusion, but thankfully, Scorpio energy allows you some discernment. So you're going to be infinitely more tuned in. And so while you're soaking up everything, and I mean everything, it can slow down the process, but it also allows you to collect everything. And so you're going to know this whole situation, so much so that you develop a deep understanding of it. But it takes a little bit longer to develop a deep understanding of something. Do you dig? You can get the gist. For some of us, that's real quick and easy. But to truly understand a situation, it might take some time. You got to soak it up. Mercury trine to Saturn is going to make that happen. I have Mercury trine to Saturn in my birth chart. So It's more or less like, hey, I'm gonna soak all of this up. I want to become the authority in this knowledge. That's how I like to do this. I want to be the authority of this. So I don't want to just know it. I need to understand it. I need to be able to relate it so well that I can teach it. Yeah. Hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button yet. Hit the super sticker, the super thanks, or the super chat. Go join the membership. There should be a join button. Go hit that join button and support the motherfucking PrIcElEs family. We need to get up to 30 members, and there's only like 12 or 13. We need to get 30 members of the tribal council, and then we will start dropping exclusive content just for the tribal council. And as that grows, there'll be even more exclusive content just for that. Yeah, there are also other perks that come along with it. So, yeah. Let's get back to where we were. Let's talk about Venus. Because Venus is sitting at 7 degrees of Sagittarius. And this is positivity. This is where people develop an exotic taste. They want to feel something foreign. Yeah. This is where people might want to take a trip. This is where people are going to be speaking their mind and being blunt. They ain't worried about let it slip. This is where you don't know if you can turn a flip unless you try to turn a flip. It's about the experience. So if you fuck up, don't trip. This is where there's no way to know if this is a truly educational experience or it was just a slip. Maybe even a blip. This is where you might want to seek out a teacher who can give you some tips. This is where positivity can parlay out into some chips. This ain't Gemini. It might seem like it, but what I'm conveying is well beyond just quips. This is where people can develop a sudden attraction to hips. Yeah, this is Venus in Sagittarius. This is where the grass looks greener and greener with each situation you encounter. Oh, this is gonna get better and better, and if it ain't, I'm gonna look for something better than this. This is where your loyalty becomes to principles. Not people, principles. I stand by this. I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. I'm living this, you're just spewing this. I've been knowing this, you're just new in this. Yeah. If you ain't with me for the journey, I got an ass you can kiss. If you ain't trying to keep growing and evolving, I'm gonna be that ass you gonna miss. This is where I want to fuck around and find out. I guess your ignorance is bliss. But I'm finna try this shit out and give it the business. I'm trying to teach you what a Riz is. When we get done, we might have a quiz, bitch. Yeah, you already know what it is, bitch. Look, we learning. It's all a learning experience. Even the lessons are blessings, so why the fuck are you stressing? Just vibe. Action Jackson said, do I meditate? I call it breathing exercises. Because when I call it meditation, I get into a mind share that's not the healthiest to predicate, because it seems like I'm trying to go somewhere instead of me trying to clear my thoughts, or at least give myself some space between my emotions and my thoughts of a situation. So I do breathing exercises, which is the same as meditation. I just can't call it meditation, because as soon as I call it meditation, it becomes something that I'm trying to do, and that's the opposite of what meditation is. So when I just breathe and I just work, I work on getting my breathing techniques together, I'm great. But as soon as I say I'm gonna meditate, that means I'm also trying to astral project, and I'm also trying to learn something, and I'm trying to tap into a whole level of consciousness, and it becomes something that's not entirely helpful. So, yes, I meditate, but I don't call it meditation, because that kills the whole vibe for me. I call it breathing exercises. So, yes, I do breathing exercises. Now, smile right fucking now. Back to the transits. Now, Venus in Sagittarius is trine to the North Node in Aries. So guess what? You can't knock it until you try it. And once you try it, you'll know what's up from there. This is where you have to take an action-oriented approach to life. This is where you realize every step of the journey is an adventure. Do you dig? You ain't gonna know unless you do it. So just do it. Act on it. Be it. Yeah. Be authentic. Be truthful. Be just. But living your life action-oriented is a must. Now, Mars. Mars is sitting at 25 degrees of Cancer. So this is where everybody takes everything personally. This is where you yourself are taking things personally. It's where you're actively emotional. Even when you try not to be, you have emotional responses to just about everything. And so you have to compensate for those emotions. You have to understand that you're kind of emotional right now. You have to understand that you have emotional responses. And yeah, that slows down the situation, but you being aware helps you out, because to be aware is to be alive. And I'm just telling you, when I'm in my feelings, Don't fuck with me.
Don't fuck with me, fellas.
Yeah. Don't fuck with me. That's kind of how people feel. And with Mars trying to Neptune, as I've said over and over again, how you feel is the only thing that's real. What you feel that way about might not be real, but how you feel is real. The emotion is there. The feeling is all that you can trust. You might not can trust the situation. You might not can trust other people, but that feeling is something that you can act on. Really, that's all you got. So, take this time with Mars sextile to Uranus and Taurus to chill the fuck out and figure out how you feel. Take inventory of your emotions. That gives you the best chance moving forward. Being patient with yourself and understanding, yes, you have feelings. Strong feelings. But how you respond to those feelings is more important than the feeling itself. And then with Mars opposite to Pluto, you gonna trip about how you feel. Oh, you gonna trip about how you feel. I guarantee it. That's how we go. Now you know. Action Jackson said, how do I cope with the frustrations of life? You're trying to quit smoking cigarettes and you need help on it. I mean, I still smoke cannabis, so I couldn't give you a big lecture on it. I stopped smoking cigarettes 3 years ago. But I'll say this. You cope with life by realizing that this is just life. It's just life. You can't be fucked up. It's not personal. It's just a process. Even when the worst stuff is happening to us and shit is stressful, it's not personal. It's just a part of the process. We'll talk about that more here in a second when we get to Saturn. But that's basically it. Problems pile up. It's not personal. It's just a part of the process. People getting on your nerves, bills stacking up, prices just skyrocketed. People lying, fucking over you, trying to use you, trying to scam you. Motherfuckers breaking your heart. People letting you down. It's human nature. It's part of the process. See, no matter how long you live or how you live, we all got a fair shot. We all got a lifetime. Whether it was 1 hour or 120 years, we all get a lifetime. No matter how long it is. And so with this frustration, you just have to not be fucked up about it. Yes, you need to do things about whatever situations you have, but you got to stop taking life so personally, and you have to eliminate the illusion of control. What you can control is your response to your emotions. You can't even control how you feel, but you can control how you respond to the feelings that you have. Hey, us as biological creatures are going to have fear. When we have emotional responses, we're going to have fear of certain emotions. We're going to have fear of fear. We're going to have fear of death. That's what pushes so many people to survive. When somebody's a survivor, it's because they don't want to die. Motherfucker, I'm fighting to live. I got a lot to live for. I'll be damned if I let you kill me. I'll be damned if I let this situation break me. And so it kind of comes like that. Like, hey, you know what? I'm not taking it personal. Life is not happening to just you. And then you also have to just look at the health implications. For me, cigarettes, it was that easy. So I can't tell you how to do things because I can't stop smoking cannabis. But when it came to cigarettes, it was a matter of health. Like, man, I don't want fucking cancer. So fuck them cigarettes. And that's kind of how it went. But yeah. I appreciate the love, Kinara. But yeah, this is where we at with this. Now, look, Jupiter. Jupiter is now at 20 degrees of Gemini. And it's retrograde until February 5th, 2025. So let's look at Gemini energy as being this eclectic and effervescent energy. Hold up, there's my son. Just like,
It's a guy that ding dong ditch every house.
okay, sir. Thank you.
Huh?
Hey, take the dogs, baby.
I was gonna ask, can I do my homework first?
No, you can take him first. But yeah, this is a fact. Life itself is a process, and we'll talk more about that with Saturn. But you gotta stop taking everything so personally, and I know that's hard to do because you're living life through your skin, and in your life, and everything in your experience is happening to you and for you. But the fact of the matter is this is happening for all of us. You're just a part of this process. You're a cog in the machine. You're not a victim of circumstance, no matter how hard this shit is. You dig? That's the real. Now with Jupiter and Gemini, look at Jupiter as this expansive energy. Jupiter is about expansion and abundance, but it doesn't know when to stop. And this is Gemini, not Sagittarius. Sagittarius is searching for purpose. Gemini is just all over the place. It's energy for energy's sake. And so this can get chaotic, especially when it's retrograde. People have this restlessness inside of them. And if boredom kicks in, mischief ensues. This energy is moving very slow, and you don't want Gemini energy moving slow because that's when it gets mischievous. This is where it gets chaotic. This is where shit gets messy. And then when you want to look at this from an esoteric perspective, there's a lot of stuff that's being said right now. There's all types of information that's being transported. But how much of it is actually relevant to you and your situation? There's a lot of talking that's going on. And then you see Jupiter still sextile to Chiron. And what's interesting is they're both retrograde, but they're moving together. So this is something that's happening deliberately. Chiron being the wounded healer and it being in Aries. And so this is bringing accountability. Through awareness, it's allowing for accountability, which does allow for actions that lead towards healing. And so when you see this with Gemini energy, this is where shit gets messy. This is where people say too much. This is where people move too fast. This is where people make mistakes. This is where shit gets sloppy. But once you become aware of these mistakes, and ultimately when things are moving so quickly and chaotically, there's going to be mistakes. Once you're aware of these mistakes, you're then accountable for doing better from there. And then when you look at this verbally, people saying too much, people speaking too soon, you can look at every situation. And even me last night with my son, without going back into the situation, I shouldn't have said anything in the first place. It's his football. He's the one playing sports. I'm not the one playing sports. if I wouldn't have said anything at all and called him soft or started fucking with him about not playing in practice, it wouldn't have been an issue. Now, he shouldn't have been disrespectful. He shouldn't have caught an attitude, all of this other shit. But if I wouldn't have said anything in the first place, and I probably shouldn't have, it wouldn't have been an issue at all. Or if I would have thought about what I was going to say and been more tactful, that could have helped. But I wasn't tactful. I spoke too soon and I said too much. Next thing you know, we're having this verbal altercation. And there's going to be a lot of arguments. This is Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, sextile to Chiron in Aries. So there's going to be some conflicts and confrontations and arguments. And there's going to be some shit that gets said. But the awareness of where that came from allows you the opportunity to confront it within yourself. See, confrontations aren't just with other people. Sometimes you have to confront your own behaviors, your own trauma. Okay, this is why I respond like that. This is why I trip like that. This is why I slip like that. This is where this anger comes from. So this is why I flip like that. I was born into a family of alcoholism. This is why I sip like that. This is an emotional response. This is why I trip like that. I was raised wrong. So there's all these situations that gives you an opportunity to grow. But first comes the mistake. And once you make that mistake, or once something gets sloppy or chaotic or mischievous, that gives you the opportunity. And you can look at this from a different perspective. Even if somebody's fucking over you, once you're aware that you got fucked over, you're then accountable for not allowing that shit to happen to you again. Because that old adage, fool me or fuck over me once, shame on you. You fool me or fuck over me twice, shame on me. That applies. Once you're aware, you're accountable. Once I know that's how you get down, I'm then accountable for what happens from there. Because if you're still fucking me over beyond that, I must be allowing it. And I strongly feel when it comes to behaviors, you either coach it or you condone it. And if you can't do either one of those, you might need to cancel it. Yeah. Hit the fucking like button if you haven't hit the like button yet. Hit the super sticker, the super thanks, or the super chat. We're about $20 from our YouTube quota for the month, and we need to get that before the end of the month. And I would be a lot more happy if we got it all today, because that means every session that we have here through Halloween is to the good. So y'all hit the super sticker, the super thanks, or the super chat. With everybody that comes through here today. And by the time this is over with, even though it might not seem like it because there's only 24 people active in the chat, there's several more people watching. And there will probably be anywhere between 700 to 1,700 views on the video just before we're done. Sometimes we have as many as 27,000. Sometimes we have as low as 200. But right now we've been averaging anywhere between 7 and 1,700 views through the session, and then more added later on as it plays posthumously. So of all of these people that see this, and for everybody watching right now, the fact of the matter is it ain't nothing to drop $2, $3 through the super sticker, the super thanks, or the super chat. And I shouldn't have to solicit it. That's just keeping it real. Because this is priceless. And I do appreciate y'all that sent something through CashApp. That's respect. So shout out to the Witcher on these hoes. Shout out to Kanada. Shout out to the Water Bearer. Because they definitely showed up and showed out. Now, back to what I was saying. Let's get back to the transits. Saturn is at 13 degrees of Pisces. And I was just kind of speaking on what's going on with Saturn. See, look, life is just doing what life does. When you're dealing with Pisces energy, as much as you're sensitive to the external situation, it's not about the external situation. It's about what you're doing inside of yourself. What's going on for you to process this? Pisces is internalized. Yes, it's sensitive to vibes and situations and emotions, and it's intuitive. But Pisces is also about an internal process. Confusion, delusion, internalization, imagination, isolation. So with Saturn in Pisces, people get this deep-seated fear of isolation because they can't deal with their own shit. So they fuck with people more, they get more involved in other people's lives and in the external situation of the world because they don't know how to deal with the stuff going on inside of them. But they're going to realize at some point there's shit that you just can't avoid, ignore, or escape because then it becomes a problem. You need to find your motherfucking faith. You need to find your motherfucking faith again. And you can't find faith in the world because the outside world is fickle. You find faith inside of yourself. See, spirituality is an inner journey. We've lost sight of that. With this Neptune and Pisces culture, we've lost sight of the fact that spirituality is about your own personal journey to define the divine. Now, we're too caught up in the titles. I'm this, I'm that. We're trying to monetize our spirituality. Shit. If I'm going to be believing, I might as well get paid for it, right? Now you need faith, baby. Yeah. You need some motherfucking faith. Sometimes you need to be able to look yourself in the face. Shout out to Beats by Bless Zone Out Music. My bro made these specifically for us. And he also sells beats himself. So for those of y'all that are pursuing a music career or you need background music or anything, y'all go check out Beats by Bless Zone Out Music. He's the creator of those vibes. Now I'm using them to curate this experience and this vibe that we have. But he created those. So shout out to Beats by Bless Zone Out Music. That's the bro. Now, with Saturn in Pisces, it's not about what's going on externally. And there's a lot going on. And we're sensitive to it all. It's about how you're dealing with things internally. It's about the fear, the anxiety, the resentment, the escapist tendencies, the avoidance behavior, the ignorance, the delusion, the confusion, the projection, the expectation, the pessimism. Look, perspective is everything. And with Saturn retrograde right now, this is helping you gain perspective of what the problem is. See, however you're feeling, you felt this way before. This is retrograde. We've already went over these degrees. 13 degrees of Pisces, we saw this just a few months ago. Saturn went all the way to 19 degrees of Pisces and then it retrograded back. So now we're on 13 degrees and we're gonna go as low as 12 and then we'll station direct again and we'll go back over these again. So this feeling is gonna come up again, if it goes away. But there's no better time than now to gain a perspective of where this comes from. Because you need to deal with it. That's why it's here. See, when it feels like your problems are piling up, it's because you've been ignoring shit. It's because you've been avoiding it. So this is not your karma coming back twice as hard. This is the neglect that you've showed the issues in your own life. Yeah. And sometimes it's not about the feeling itself. It's where it came from. It's what makes you capable of it. Yeah. Just fine. Just let it seep in. Oh yeah. Hit the motherfucking like button if you haven't hit the like button yet. Hit the super sticker, the super thanks to the super chat. Hit the motherfucking bell icon so you can be notified when we come on again. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Go join the membership tab and support us for real. It's not about what's going on, it's about how you feel. This is Saturn in Pisces. So many people have projected so much stuff. They say, well, Saturn in Pisces is your karma coming to get you. Wrong. You're fucking wrong. That's projecting. That's a part of the problem. Because karma doesn't come to get you. Karma happens. Karma is a process. When something goes around, it doesn't come around twice as hard. It just comes back around. But when you have several things coming back around on you at the same time, it can feel like life is picking on you. But this is the neglect that you showed issues in your life. See, Saturn in Pisces has given a lot of people a wake-up call. You're an addict, motherfucker. A straight-up dope fiend. You're a hateful person. You hold resentment in. You're fearful. See, that's what I got reminded of, is no matter how much bravado you show, there's so much fear that resides inside of you. And that fear is a problem. You've never dealt with the fear. You've ignored it. Your mom died and you became a teenager and you started living life. So you still had this fear. You just never got over it. You ignored it. You hid it. You avoided it. But nah, motherfucker, you're a fearful person. Hey, motherfucker, you take your health for granted. This is what Saturn coming into the 6th house stuff. Hey, motherfucker, you're all right, but you and that fear and you taking things for granted is going to be an issue. No, you have to have healthy practices in place. You have to develop healthy habits. This is the 6th house, and this is what it showed me. And so this has been a trip. Understanding where I'm my own worst enemy. Look, no matter how unique it seems like your situation is, I guarantee it isn't. Do you understand? If you got your heart broke today, you're not the only person that got your heart broke. There's thousands or millions of people who got their heart broke. If you had somebody pass on today, as unfortunate as it is, and look, Tina Claire Marie had her mother pass on today. But she's probably one of thousands of people who had their mother pass on today, unfortunately. Her mother was one of millions of people who died today, unfortunately. Millions of people got diagnosed with deadly diseases today. Millions of people got prognoses that aren't real positive today. Millions of people got their heart broke today. Millions of people are getting stole from right now. Somebody just got lied to. Somebody else just got lied to. See, this is a part of the human process. inflation has been around since the advent of currency. Something just got higher, I guarantee you. They just printed some more money, so they're going to charge something else. There's been dictators all over the motherfucking world since the advent of politics. And politics has been at play before we even knew what politics were, because you had interpersonal dynamics between group situations and communities. So politics has always been a dynamic for people. There's been wars. You just need to understand that no matter how oppressive the situation seems, it's not personal. It's just a process. You did. And you signed up for this. This is what you came here for. You gotta learn how to deal with your shit. Even if it's the worst. Because what else you gonna do? Fold up? Die? Yeah, all of us are. So what the fuck are you tripping about? Deal with what you can deal with and then eliminate the illusion of control. Because there's some shit that's not your problem. It's not your responsibility. And even if it is, there's nothing you can do about it. And you got to let that go, because stressing about it is just something that you can't do. If you have resentment towards somebody, a lot of the times the resentment is the problem itself. Because they ain't worried about you. Hit the motherfucking like button, bitch. We'll be back with a top 5 on Friday. I think this Friday we're going to do the PrIcElEs top 5 most toxic placements. And the moon will be in Leo. The sun will be in Scorpio. So it's going to get extra and extreme. And I'm going to be extremely fly. I guarantee that. Now, just why? Let's talk about Uranus. Uranus. Look, I'm just gonna be honest and let you know that the world that we live in is not a stable place. The economy's not stable, people are unstable, people's opinion change at the drop of a dime. Your position in this world is not stable, but with that in mind, you can develop a secure place to operate from. And that's not an actual setting, it's a mentality. If you're stubborn, there's gonna be some frustrations that come about. If you're stuck in a certain way of doing things, you're gonna end up frustrated. The world is evolving and changing. So if you can find some type of place in your mind where you realize, hey, I have to stay adaptable in my approach to everything, then that gives you an opportunity. And then when you also understand that there's gonna be some situations where our values limitless. And so you have to assess your values and see if this is getting in the way. You also have to see what you're willing to compromise. And in order to do that, it's gonna take you taking personal inventory. That means figuring out who you are now, what you stand for. What are your values? What do you see as valuable? What are you willing to do to make money? These are important questions. Because ultimately that's changed. Why? Because Uranus is sextile to Neptune, the culture. That changes everything. The values of the culture have changed. So that influences each one of us in our personal expression. Now, what's crazy is the culture influences what's valuable. But what's valuable also influences the culture. And so there's a certain synthesis that goes on between those two. And it's not just material value, it's also people's values. There's certain things that were norms 15, 20, 30, 40 years ago that now are dimmed or condemned by society. There's also certain things that society will force you to accept now. Even if it's against your normal value system or what you deem as appropriate or not, people are making money doing this, so you can't knock it. Because in doing so, you're knocking somebody feeding their kids. And then if you're tripping about the economy and you're complaining about your material situation, once again, you need to assess your methodology because there's way too many ways for you to make money. Uranus in Taurus is the time of the side hustle, and anything can be a side hustle. Sometimes it's just being you. You're on social media, you can turn your profile professional and just be you. You have so many streamers that just be them in front of their camera and they make bank. T-Pain, he's an artist, he's a musician, he's a producer, and he's a streamer. But being a streamer, he's an artist, he's a producer, he's a gamer. So he can be gaming, or he can sit there and make a bomb-ass song right in front of you, right there on Twitch. He's just being him. That's what he does. This is who he is. So he's getting paid for the song he's dropping, but he's also getting paid for being him and doing it on camera and showing his creative process, which is something that he does anyway. All right, we'll see you later, Phyllis. What's up, Anthony? But do you see how that goes? You can just get paid for just being you. And you can get paid for being somebody else because you can copy somebody else's profile and steal all their content. Lots of people do it. Motherfucker has a certain following. Motherfucker will steal everything you drop. As soon as you drop a video, they take it and they place it and they put it on their timeline. They have a picture of you and their name is spelled just a little bit differently than yours, but it is your name. And they're using your likeness, and there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes the fake profile will be more popular than the actual person. I've seen this.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
So there's no excuse for being broke, but you do need to assess your methodology. And let's also take a step to look at Uranus trying to Pluto, and this being Uranus at 26 degrees of Taurus and Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn. This is where people are moving out of desperation. The motherfuckers are hungry. They want it. And so, hey, people are pushing, maybe even forcing situations. And that right there is limiting them. This is a retrograde with Uranus. Now, Pluto's direct, but it's stationed right there. It's at 29 degrees of Capricorn. So that's the height of frustration and hunger. That makes it hard for people to be patient. That's natural. When you're frustrated, you're hungry and tired, it's not so easy for you to be pleasant and to be patient, to stay calm. It's natural for you to be aggravated and frustrated, fucked up, desperate. Desperate times automatically call for desperate measures. But when you're moving desperately, it limits the scope of each situation. Now, this could also be where, hey, I have to be disciplined. I can't make a mistake. I can't fuck up. I have too much to lose. So there's two ways that could work out. This is where people are like, hey, man, I got too much to lose. I can't fuck up this. And it's very natural for you to try too hard and stress yourself out because the situation seems desperate. I don't think you heard me, though. Yeah. You tuned in with some trill shit. Yeah. Let me see what this is. Sorry. Hold up. Liam Martin. I'm just gonna address this one time. So usually I don't address that type of stuff, but let me address this. My neck ain't gonna turn green because guess what? As people here that have been here have known, I've been wearing these for months. The shit is not fucked up and fake like that. Unfortunately for you. No. My neck is caramel. And you're just on the carousel of hate. Yeah. Sorry, I have to answer this. But yeah. Sorry, I have to answer this. But yeah. Uranus is a motherfucker. Now, Neptune is sitting at 27 degrees of Pisces. And I usually like to stick to the critical degrees, but 27 degrees of Pisces is very interesting because that's the depth of emotion. And when you have a depth of emotion or such a broad spectrum of emotion, that can make things confusing. Yeah. You can be fooling your motherfucking self. It's like now you see things differently. And with you having a different perspective of a situation, it can seem like the rose-colored glasses have come off and somebody's pulled the wool off of your eyes and all of a sudden now life is real. But no, it's just a different perspective. And so this right here can have you questioning, why wasn't I seeing it like this before? Well, it's because everything's a projection. And when you develop emotions about something that is a projection, you're doing nothing but confusing yourself and creating delusions within that. And the fact of the matter is, with Neptune and Pisces, our culture is driven by projections. It's like real life, whatever that is something that we take little holidays into. You're so enamored with social media and your presence, so many of us are, that you have to take a break from social media just to experience real life. Hey, y'all, I gotta get off social media for a few days. I gotta get back to real life. Like, how many times you see the people saying that when just a couple of decades ago, you have real life and you might log online when you had a dial-up connection on the internet. You sat down at your computer and you log online. Or if you had a phone, you would go on the internet and you could go look at a few sites if you had a smartphone, back when smartphones first started. But even before that, just a couple of decades ago, you go on there, you go online, you go to these websites, you go to these file sharing sites and you download music and you go check out websites or you connect with people online, you instant chat on AOL. You do all of these things, right? But you had to sit down and you had to dial up. And so now people have become so enamored and people have become so embroiled in this social media culture that people forget who the fuck they really are. As funny as it is, I know so many dudes who have created this online persona of this sensitive person. They create this. I'm just this dude. And the truth of the matter is, you're a whole piece of shit, fam. You have these projections on social media, these fictional characters that you've created off your personality. Let's just call them personas. You have these pieces of your personality, these caricatures, these personas that are projections. And ultimately, for each person that encounters you, they develop a different perspective. Well, perception is reality. And people forget that spirituality, which has become such a fad right now, is about introspection. We're so caught up in projection and expectation that we forget about the introspective nature of spirituality. Plain and simple. So, when we live in such a copycat culture, when nothing is real, hell, real ain't even real. The only thing you can trust is how you feel, because that's the only thing that is real. You can't trust what you see. You can't trust what you hear. Even what you're experiencing could be a projection, could be a simulation, as they say. So what you can trust is how you feel about whatever you're experiencing, because that's inside of you. That's what's real. How you feel. You need to let that be your guide. Use your inner compass. Tap into that main line to the divine. You know, that dial-up connection that I was just speaking on when it came to the internet. You need to dial up with the divine. Separate the projections, the delusion, the confusion, the expectations. And really assess how you feel about the situation, how you feel about you, how you feel about this person, how you feel about life. Because that's what matters the most. Even though we've gotten deluded away from that. That's the only thing you can trust. Yeah. What's up, Ink King? Ink King said they've had a 5-year break from social media. It wasn't even planned. You're just fine. And you said, I'm absolutely right. A break from virtual reality is needed. Yeah. It's like you need to remember what's really going on with you, separate from the projections and expectations of the culture that we've created. Get away from the characters or the caricatures and show your true character. But you have to find out what that is. You can never measure a person's character off their social media present, because that's a projection. I don't think you heard me though. Now, Neptune is sextile to Pluto. And so when you want to look at this and you see it 27 degrees of Pisces and 29 degrees of Capricorn, this is where people become depressed. That depression leads to disenchantment with life. It's like it feels like nothing is getting better. It feels like we're in some of the worst times that humanity has ever experienced. But you have to understand that's just your personal perception that you've created, because your experience is unprecedented, but the situation within the world is not unprecedented. Man, you got to think back to right before World War II. There was a whole fucking Holocaust. As horrible as the situation is with Israel and Palestine and Lebanon and Iran, that ain't got shit on the motherfucking Holocaust. It ain't got shit on Alexander the Great's terroristic empire where he took over countries and enslaved the people. Has nothing on Genghis Khan going through the world and fucking everybody. So much to the point where like 80% of the world is directly related to Genghis Khan in some way, form, or fashion. These are truths. Like, the world has been crazy. There's been mass extinctions. The shit could get worse, and people think it's worse than what it is. And that makes them make decisions out of desperation. They become disenchanted. They lose hope. This is 27 degrees of Pisces, sextile to 29 degrees of Capricorn. But this is also where people say, hey man, I gotta make something different. I can't keep going on like this. This type of desperate feeling, this type of disenchantment, this type of discontentment does breed change. And it is coming. It's definitely coming. Neptune sextile to Pluto is a process of change initiated between the generation of people and the culture that those people create, and vice versa. The culture influences the generation, just as the generation creates the culture. And it's a synthetic process. Pluto in Libra had a big hand in Neptune and Sagittarius. Pluto in Scorpio and Neptune in Capricorn had a sextile synthesis between each other. This devious thing where everybody has ulterior motives. Where it's a dog-eat-dog world. Where it's constant competition. Where people get into survival mode or people want to get gangster. Yeah. And then you had Neptune in Aquarius and Pluto in Sagittarius. We've had Neptune in Pisces and Pluto in Capricorn. Next, we have Neptune in Aries and Pluto in Aquarius. So the anger is what fuels a revolution. Action. Action can feel like a rebellion needs to kick in. This is the times that we're coming into. But right now, we're at the end of this process with Neptune in Pisces and Pluto in Capricorn. This is where it gets frustrating, gets depressing. But this is also where you find the hope to keep pushing regardless. See, the beautiful thing with Pisces and Capricorn is Pisces can be the muse for Capricorn. There's something that keeps Pisces, or not Pisces, there's something that keeps Capricorn pushing. Capricorn can keep going despite fear, despite hunger. Because Capricorn's gonna keep pushing because it's ambitious, it's hungry, it's relentless. Well, sometimes there takes a specific faith to drive that. I believe that I'm gonna make it better because I believe in myself and my abilities to make the situation better because I'm gonna go as hard as I need to make it better. Yes, it's as desperate as it gets, but when you're desperate, you're dangerous. When you're scared, You're a force to be reckoned with. I used to always tell people when I was in the streets, a scary motherfucker will kill you. Yeah, there's some tough guys out here that are fearless, and that's a problem too, but there's nothing more dangerous than somebody who's fearful. Even within myself, I'm the last person you want to be afraid of you or afraid of what you might do, because that's when I'm a danger to you. I'm going to worry about it so much that I'm going to start thinking that I have to eliminate the issue. That can make a situation more harrowing than it has to be. I don't think you hurt me. Yeah. Can you feel that? Mm-hmm. Now, we just been vibing. Now, let me get to Pluto. Pluto's at 29 degrees of Capricorn. And this is as hungry as it gets. That's why I call it the anorexic anoretic. See, it's 29 degrees of Capricorn. This is as ambitious as it's gonna get. This is desperate hunger. This is where, guess what? It is a dog-eat-dog world, and there's only one bone left. And I'm not gonna let you take it from me. This is the type of frustration that breeds true change. As I've stated before, this 29 degrees of Capricorn Pluto transit, it's happened before. You know, the last time it happened, it was when America felt like they had to break away from Great Britain. And France felt like they needed a revolution. It's when the colonial areas of the United States said, hey, we don't want foreign rule. We're not being represented in Parliament. No taxation without representation. This shit is costing a lot of money. I'm not paying no fucking tariff. We need our own representation. As a matter of fact, we need our own rulership. Fuck this. I'm rebelling against that. This rebellion is now a revolution. Yeah. Now all of it is a part of a process of evolution. Eventually, we'll see Neptune in Aries and Pluto in Aquarius give way to Neptune in Taurus and Pluto in Pisces. So there will be a peaceful resolution. Yeah. Or the illusion of such. But maybe I'm projecting too much. Or maybe I'm just expecting too much. Yeah, I've been on that shit today. Now, Chiron is at 21 degrees. No, Chiron is now at 20 degrees of Aries. And so guess what? It's your fault. Huh? Now, this motherfucker doing me dirty. Okay, if you're aware that they're doing you dirty, and if you're still experiencing that, you're allowing it. You're accountable for what you allow. Once you're aware, you're accountable for what happens from there. Once you're aware and you acknowledge that, you're accountable for what happens from that point forward. You're also accountable for your growth, for your success. Yeah, you did that. Even if you got help from somebody else, you had to do it. This is your life. You're accountable for that. Remember that. Now, ooh, I love that vibe. Sports kid, what's cracking, cuz?
Zane 98.
Shout out to Zane 98. He made this. It's Scorpio season. This is where she gets so intense you can't trust it. Now, the black moon Lilith is at 12 degrees of Libra, so people are going to be codependent. People are going to be way too worried about other people. And then when you see the South Node also in Libra, people are way too worried about what other people think about what they have going on. That makes them dishonest. People acquiesce too much. Nah, baby. You giving in too easy. That's why you keep failing. You keep waiting too long with that indecisiveness. Nah, you gotta be action-oriented. You're trying to please people. That's why you're dishonest. Now you just need to do whatever you need to do. Unapologetically. Because if you're being honest and genuine and action-oriented and straight up, there ain't shit to apologize for. No. You might try to live for other people, but you can only live as you. Remember that. The North Node is in Aries. You might be feeling like you're living for other people, but the truth of the matter is you can only live as you. So you need to do what's right for you. Fuck what everybody thinks about it. Nah, baby. You got to take an action-oriented approach to life. You have to experience your truth as a verb. And we're almost done with this North Node in Aries journey. Then it'll go into Pisces. And that's a whole different process in its own right. 18 months of that. We have about 2 or 3 more months of this North Node in Aries journey. You're going to learn. You're going to fucking learn. Because what else you going to do? Die? Yes. So you're going to both learn and die. Hit the fucking like button. I need a few more of y'all to hit that super sticker, that super thanks, or that super chat. If you really fuck with me, do that. Please. Immediately. Like, right now. Matter of fact, we're going to take it to the south. I'm talking about right now. Right now is a little bit faster than right now. Yeah, that vibe. Beats, I don't think I've ever heard this one. It sounds like the motherfucker saying ouch. And it's called It Hurts. I hear it, Jim, every time.
Perfect.
Ooh, shout out to Beats by Bless on that music. Another gem. Yeah, I love that bit right there. See, that sound like you saying ouch. Or ow. Like it hurt. I like that reverb on that. Hey, that's live right there. You're a talented individual. Y'all show some love to Ambrosius. That's Beat's real name, Ambrosius. Malachi Ambrosius DeWitt. Yeah, I told him your real name. Malachi Ambrosius DeWitt. Yeah. They used to call him Mac. But his initials are Mad. That's how he got you. Mad. Yeah. Wait, is this another one I haven't heard? Hold up. Hey, as far as the numerology of the day, Beats already said it. We're in a 5 vibration today. How did we get to the 5? Well, it's October 23rd, 2024. So October is the 10th month. So 1 plus 0 is a 1. You take that 1, you drop it down. There's no need to simplify that further. The 23rd. That's 2 plus 3 is a 5. You take that 5, you drop it down. There's no need to simplify it any further. And then you have 2024. Well, 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 4 is 8. So you take that 8, you drop that down. There's no need to simplify that any further. So you have 1 plus 5 plus 8. That's 14. And so we're in a 5 vibration today, but there is the karmic debt 14 in the mix here. That denotes an possible abuse of freedom. So that means there's going to be some people who are increasing their freedom to act in life at the cost of other people's. There's going to be some people who are abusing their own free will by damaging their own spirit, drug abuse, alcoholism, unhealthy promiscuity. Yeah. This is an abuse of free will. That means you're going to be fucking over other people. And if you're not fucking over other people, you're harming yourself. You're also wasting your energy. You can't forget that when you're dealing with that 14. You can just be wasting shit. What a fucking waste. You had all of this potential. Now, this is also where things are just gonna come up. And you have to be able to roll with the punches. This is about developing free will. Healthy free will. So that means you ain't gotta do nothing that you don't wanna do. And you should only be doing what you wanna do. Yeah, I've never heard this one before either, Beats. Now I gotta start this over. Because it's coming for you. Oh, yeah. So the floor is now open for any questions y'all may have. We're here for 30 more minutes and then I gotta go. 30 minutes. I'm gonna answer any questions. Then we'll be back on Friday with the PrIcElEs top 5 most toxic placements in astrology. Oh, yeah. Asaya, there hasn't been a method to this madness today. It's hump day. I talked about it being Scorpio season earlier and what Scorpio season means. But ultimately, I just went through the transits. I touched on how they're affecting me personally, and now the floor is open, as we do on Wednesdays. I'm here to answer any questions that you have about astrology and numerology, and specifically compatibility and synastry within astrology, or anything else that helps you understand yourself, or intimacy, or infidelity, or insecurity just a little bit better. Yeah. Beats. Leo moon is not on the list, even though it could be. I could have made a list of 100 toxic placements. But Leo moon is not on the list, although it should be. Leo something is there. There is a Leo placement on the list. But Leo moon didn't make the list. If I had an honorable mention, I would have done Leo moon, but there were so many possible honorable mentions that I felt like there was no need to do even one. Because if I did one, I would have to do 20 or 30. And then there couldn't be a top 5 list. That would just me speaking about all these fucking toxic placements, because there are hundreds. Hey, I need a few more of y'all. Just a few more of y'all to hit that super sticker, that super thanks to that super chat. Even if it's just $2, $3, $4, $5. We need to make about $30 more. Really, it was 27 to start with. And so we probably need like 20 more bucks. But in order for us to get 20 bucks, we're gonna have to get 30 bucks here, because YouTube does take some of those as far as their cut goes. Pay your tribute to the dawn. And for those of you that know me as DonRodrigo, I need you to understand, Dawn is not a name. It's not Donald. Dawn is a title. It's a status. I'm Rodrigo the Dawn. But you gotta roll your R's or the vibration ain't gonna be right. And it's not Rodrigo Dawn. It's either DonRodrigo or Rodrigo the Dawn. Yeah. What does it mean if someone's sun squares your Saturn? I feel like it can mean that it takes a while for y'all to warm up to each other. There's differences in y'all's character. You know, the sun person is more or less feeling like the Saturn person dampens their situation or takes away some of their shine or restricts them in some way, form, or fashion. And then the Saturn person, when the sun is squaring their Saturn, it makes it hard for them to like that person a lot. They might have attraction to each other. See, I've been attracted to lots of people who I ended up not liking personally. So they can be this thing in synastry where with the sun square to Saturn, where there might be an initial attraction or there might be some type of involvement, but it takes a while for them to warm up. Or it could be the opposite of that. They can really have an instant attraction and have a rapport, but then over time they start to realize they don't really fucking like this person. They don't have anything in common. They're growing in different directions. They don't like that person. And that's actually the more likely of the two when you have the sun square to Saturn. Is because in synastry, it's like, okay, there's an initial attraction, but after a while, it's like that shit wears off and they really don't have anything in common. They really don't even like each other very much. And that happens more than people care to admit, because we show representations when we're first dealing with people, especially in interpersonal dynamics and in intimate relationships, or when people were first meeting. We send out a representative of who we are, not who we really are. This is somebody who is a projection of what we think that person expects us to be within our connections with each other. You said, how is Sun square Saturn different from Saturn squared Saturn? Well, I mean, it's like I said, there's Sun square Saturn has to do with them liking each other, and it's different. With Saturn square Saturn, it's more or less like they have different fears, they have different concerns, they have different stuff that they're about in life, and they're basically on two different maturity levels sometimes, or even just on two different things in life completely. This is what this person is on, this is what this person is on. And that can be in conflict with each other. And so ultimately, it's like you're about different shit than I'm about. Sun square Saturn, it's like there can be attraction, there can be other stuff that's cool, but over time that wears off, or vice versa. It can be to where it takes some time for them to really understand who that person is, because there's something that's off-putting about them at first. In a natal chart, what does Sun square Jupiter mean? It means you can get in the way of your own blessings sometimes, or your reach can exceed your grasp, or you know, you do too much. You just do too much. You overcompensate, you overindulge, you over-exaggerate, or you underappreciate yourself and your gifts. See, that can go two ends of that spectrum with that. And it really has a similar effect either way. When somebody's overcompensating, over-exaggerating, it makes it inauthentic, and it makes it more difficult, because you have this impossible standard that you've created for yourself. But then also, you can limit yourself by not believing in the gifts that you have, and not really put any stock in the blessings that you have been blessed with, because you've been worried about the wrong thing. Now, you said, how does Sun trine Saturn work? I think that Sun trine Saturn, there's a healthy respect between those two people. With Sun trine Saturn, there's just a healthy respect. One likes one person, and the other one respects the other person, or appreciates them. That's what I'm talking about in synastry. Yes. Now, if you're talking about it in a natal chart with Sun trine Saturn, that's a responsible person. That's somebody that you can count on. That's somebody who is disciplined and has integrity. In synastry, that's one of those things where with Sun trine Saturn, I genuinely have an affection for this person, and not only do I have an affection for them, I respect them. And then in the other way, I appreciate this person's presence, because they light up my life naturally. Hold on, I gotta text my lady. It's just a second. My baby texts me. My baby. See, this is some bullshit. Let me tell y'all. This is what happens when you're in love with a Capricorn and you're a Cancer, like I'm a Cancer. Is you be so full of love, and then you say some shit, and you just be lovable than a bitch, and they just be mean than a motherfucker and kill the vibe. This is what happens. I'll be so happy to hear from my baby. I'll be so happy to see my baby come home, and all she gonna do is smash them hopes and dreams and be mean than a motherfucker for no fucking reason, or tell me everything that I haven't done that day. That's what happens when you're dealing with a Capricorn. It's like, oh, I love you. And as soon as the motherfuckers be mean than a bitch. Get off me. Leave me alone. But yeah, you're dealing with the right bullshit. But yeah. Watkins Cadell said she asked because she has an exact Saturn square Saturn with your husband, but there's an exact 5-degree conjunction with Saturn to his sun. Yeah, all of that. All of that. But yeah, y'all got different principles, different values. And I mean, with Saturn there, different maturity levels. You're about different stuff in life. Different fears, because you're about different things. So yeah, I can see where there can be a disconnect with y'all because of that. And it can mean over time that y'all are, it's not going to get better. Y'all are growing apart over time. Yeah, exactly, Watkins Cat House. Y'all are growing apart over time. Even though it felt like you need her. Shout out to Beats by Bless Zone Out Music. This is called Need You. Let's zone out. We zone. Just fine. It's Scorpio season. I want you to need me. That be right there jamming, bro. Anthony, you said if someone has Mercury square Neptune in their chart, what does that mean? They be lying? Really, to be honest with you, I mean, it means their imagination can get the best of them. But I would say that means that they lie. They're not always honest. And they're gullible. They themselves are gullible and susceptible to the same shit. If they're not liars themselves, they're suckers. Mercury square Neptune, that's what it means. If they themselves are not delusional or liars, they're gullible to the motherfucker. You a whole sucker. And I'm gonna get you, sucker. Asaya, I'm sorry, what'd you ask, baby? What'd you ask? Hold on, let me go back up. What'd you ask? Ask it again. If I missed your question, ask it again. I used to have to say that. I never skipped you or ignored you. I just missed it. So ask it again, because I can't scroll up and see it. Watkins Cat House said everybody lies at some point in their lives. Yeah, especially you. I'm just like, I'm just talking to you, but for real though, especially you. How is Scorpio season affecting your Scorpio sun? I mean, that's what you mean. It's Scorpio season. It's your sun. It's your solar return. It's activating that bitch. You finna be as intense as ever. As freaky as ever. As crazy as ever. As intense as can be. That thing gonna be throbbing. Anthony said, if they also have Mercury square Uranus, what does that add to the lying and being gullible? It makes them hard to get along with Mercury square Uranus. Like, they're very intelligent, they're brilliant, but like their communication is off in some way. It can make it seem like they're erratic. It can make it seem like they're fucking assholes, or it's like they're a hard person to get along with Mercury square to Uranus. And it's because they put themselves against the grain. It's because they're contrarians. It's because they instigate situations. Kazaya crazy. Said that thing is throbbing and nobody come to get her. I know it's throbbing. You had you a Mandingo. You had you a true Mandingo warrior. Mandingo. You fumbled him. No, you done got crazy and fumbled the real mandingo. And I'm not trying to be judgmental, but we just being honest. You done fumbled the true mandingo that you had in your life. And you got to hold yourself accountable. Because look, Anthony, but you got to hold yourself accountable. You fumbled him. Gabby Angel Dust Williams, you said any advice for Neptune square North and South Node? No. No. You wouldn't listen anyway, or you wouldn't understand it anyway. That's the problem with you, is you have to experience it. If Neptune is square your North Node, like, you have to experience to get clarity. People telling you about it and shit like that, you just create these expectations and these expectations that make the situation always more complicated than it has to be, or it makes every situation seem like it requires you to get more clarity than is necessary. And so for you gonna have to fuck around and find out. And when you have Neptune, as far as either in transit or in your natal chart, square to your nodal axis, it's like you get confused about what it's really about, or what the purpose is, or why you're doing what you're doing. And so you got to be careful with that. Ebony, you said, does that apply to Mercury opposite Uranus? Because you have that. And your sun is Mercury conjunct to Uranus. No, I would say it's similar, Mercury opposite to Uranus. That sometimes you're a hard person to get along with because you don't think like everybody else, and you don't agree with what everybody else says. Now, Mercury conjunct to Uranus makes a person brilliant and inventive, and it can make them a little different, but it's because their brain works so differently. But they also care about getting along with people, and they care about figuring out how they can use this different mentality that they have to help everybody. But Mercury opposite to Uranus is like, people don't understand you. People don't get you. People misinterpret the shit you say. People straight up lie about the shit you say. It means that you yourself are not going to agree with everybody all the time. And you don't mean anything by it, but you just are somebody who you want people to be able to look at things differently. And if people can't respect that, that creates an issue. Tina Claire Marie says, if Sun in Scorpio in the 11th house and Pisces is Jupiter in the 2nd house and Neptune is in Sagittarius in the 11th house, is that a grand water trine? Absolutely not. You would need Neptune to be in a water sign. Watkins Cathouse said, any advice on North Node in the 4th house for your ass? You know you're already about your family. What sign is it? Are you talking about North Node transit in your 4th house? Or are you talking about in your natal chart? Hey, y'all, hold up. I'll do that after we get done. Never mind, I'll do that after we get done. I gotta make an order on some weed. I want my wife to pick it up. I just need a sack for the rest of the day. Hold on. Double A, what's up? You said Sinistry, South Node conjunct the moon. It's just like, that's familiarity. There might be some karma there, but it's familiar. That's just familiarity. Double A, you said, so for solar returns, would they be celebrated when the degree of your sun falls exactly in the same degree as your natal sun, rather than the day? Yes. So your solar return can happen on any within those few days. It's not always on your birthday. Anthony, you said, is North Node in the first house about being more selfish and assertive? It's about self-actualization and understanding who you are, separate from your relationships with other people or people's other opinion of you. And so it's about self-awareness and self-actualization. Double A, you said, for example, your natal sun degrees falls on your previous day rather than on your, yes. Your solar return is not always on your birthday. It falls when it's exact. And then you go by the placement. Your moon of your solar return, your ascendant of your solar return, all of that is going to be at the exact moment that your solar return becomes exact. Watkins Cat House, you said, any advice for you on your North Node being in the 4th house? You already know you're all about your family. I mean, you're always, that just means you're about your family. I don't think any advice. I think that you need to separate your public opinion or what you feel like other people feel about it. You don't need to not be worried about that. You just need to be worried about your family. Yes, you're about your family, but you need to get away from the opinions of what you have going on in your household and get away from public perception and just care about the bond that you have within your familial thing. When you get away from all of those societal principles and stuff, you would do a lot better for your family. You know, you have all of these for you have all of these standards. Oh, I don't do this, this is this, I'm not going to do this because of this. And it's because you have this thing about where you people are judging with the things you act. Sometimes it's even your parents and other people, but it's just like you need to stop worrying about that and just stop and stay on the bond that you have within your family, and that'll help out a lot. Watkins Cato said, any insight on why you have lost 2 people very close to you in the past on your exact birthday to your astrological Chinese year? No, I don't know. I mean, I think it might just be coincidence. But yeah. No, those are not principles. Those are standards. Standards based off perception, not how you actually feel. See, that's the difference. You have developed a method of action because of those standards. And I respect that because you want respect. I know this from your parents, from life, from situations, from people. But that also sometimes betrays how you really feel about situations and people. And when you start acting more on how you feel, you'll develop better familial bonds instead of judging off what perception is of what's going on with you. Logan almost got murdered. We're glad it didn't work out. Hey, I need a few more of y'all to hit that motherfucking super sticker, that super thanks to that super chat. We need about $15 more. Let's make it count. Because after that, everything is to the good. We did good today, though. We'll be back on Friday. Do we need any more questions? Because it's almost time to go. That sounds very mighty high of you, Watkins Cat House. It would be great to sit up there on that pedestal and look down and judge all of us mere humans who don't make mistakes. That's what you do. You get up on that high horse. You must be on a Clydesdale And we must be on Shetland ponies, because you get up there on that high horse and you judge everything and everybody and all the stuff they do that you don't do and all that shit. And hey, we're all humans. You might need to take a step back with that Capricorn stellium and see that the part that you've played in all of this, because I guarantee you, you've played a part in everything. And I love you, but this is a spiritual journey. Do you understand? This is a spiritual journey, so I have to keep it real with you. Maybe you have a stick up your ass. And that might be a problem in those interpersonal dynamics that you have with people. So you need to loosen up and let yourself love, instead of looking for what you have defined love needs to be. Love needs to be this, and it's this nice little box, and I love people so I don't do this, and I'm like this so I don't do this, and this and this and this, and you do all that shit, and that shit actually limits you. You see how you say that? Not to that degree. You got to think differently. How would I describe a Leo Venus woman? Somebody who's affectionate, confident and affectionate. Somebody who needs a lot of attention. Somebody who wants to feel special and should feel special. Yeah, somebody who's going to be loyal if they feel appreciated. Do you dig? And you know I wasn't picking on you, Tawny. My whole point is I want you to think about that spiritually for the next time we actually do have a personal talk, because you are due for one soon when you get your issue right. You need to go ahead and put a little something to the side so we can have one of them real sessions. But seriously though, I've been thinking about that. It's spiritually, you got to get down off that high horse. You want to have better experiences, you want to experience love again, you're going to have to come down off that fucking high horse. All this what you don't do and what everybody else does that you don't do and all that shit is bullshit. It's bullshit. You're limiting yourself and love. So I'm taking about 2 more minutes and then I'm gone, y'all. I want to thank everybody for their love and support. If you tuned in today, this has been an awesome session. We will be back on Friday with the priceless top 5 most toxic placements in astrology. If you're interested in any astrological readings whatsoever, don't ever get at me in these comments. No, get at me in my email, which is mr.turner1300@gmail.com. That's mr.turner1300@gmail.com. That's for natal chart readings. That's for solar return readings. That's for synastry readings. That's for Pluto through Aquarius transit journey readings. And I offer all of those in audio recorded form, in phone call interactive session, or in Zoom interactive session where we're face-to-face on video interacting and talking about it together, where you can ask questions and we can go whatever you want to. I have hour-long blocks of consultations where you pay a set price for the hourly wage. We get on there and we talk about whatever the fuck you need to talk about astrology. We can compare your chart with anybody. You can get any type of reading or assessment that you want to know energetically right there during that time. I also offer priceless packages to where it's already set. That means we're going to pay for either a month or a 3-month block where we meet every week for an hour, either on the phone or through Zoom. And in that, I go over all of your personal transits, which I keep track of myself. I give you any insight that's needed, and you can ask any questions about anything that's happened the week before or the upcoming week. And we keep you energetically prepared. I also have apprenticeship. That means I'm accepting one more apprentice. And I've been accepting it for a while because nobody's come through yet. But that's because it ain't cheap. It's priceless. But that's an 11-course teaching session. And I could have a class. I really could have a class. And I might still. But this is me imparting you with all of the knowledge I know and helping you understand charts in a way where you can develop your own interpretive practice. That means I teach you how I interpret it, but you develop your own understanding off your perception. And we develop that together because we're going to have reading sessions together. And so it's 11 courses, but it's not 11 sessions. There's several more sessions. So you need to get at me on that immediately. Yeah, especially for the priceless package or the apprenticeship. That's priceless in its own right. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that tuned in. I understand you don't like but there's a lot of stuff you say you don't do and all this stuff, and you don't know until a situation happens to you. You really never had that just temptation just get a hold of you, and it could. It could. Even though you say I won't, I never, I don't believe in that, I hate that. You could. I hated fucking drugs. I was a drug dealer, and then I ended up an addict. Hate drugs now, but I could end up an addict again tomorrow. So you just have to understand that you're a human being and it could happen to you. Anything. This is just something spiritually I want you to ponder on. I respect your principles. But sometimes you get up on this moral high horse and that separates you from the rest of humanity. So be careful with that. I love everything and everybody. I appreciate y'all turning in or tuning in. I said turning in, tuning in. Thank you so much, y'all. Logan says he snorts his ADHD meds that come free in the UK. So he's on them Adderalls or that Focalin. That boy snorting that Focalin, and I understand it. I used to snort pills myself. It's not healthy for you. It's not that chemical compound is not to be absorbed in that way. That's the one thing you have to understand when you're snorting pills is that chemical compound is meant to be introduced into your bloodstream a specific way, and when you introduce it a different way, you are then creating some practices that might end up being catastrophic. Gabby, you said any advice for Neptune square Sun and Venus conjunct with Venus conjunct transit? Yeah, you're gonna be more sensitive than ever, but you got to try not to allow that to put your life in a predicament. Yes, you're gonna be very sensitive. You're gonna pick up on everything, but you got to make sure that you don't get into a predicament because of that. You know, when you have such intense reactions and emotions to stuff, and you're so sensitive to stuff, and it hits you so deep, that can make you act out of your normal character. And so being aware helps you understand what's happening when it's happening. When you say, you know what, I'm not even acting like myself, I'm tripping. And now you know why. So I love y'all. Watkins, you said, when I have somebody's rising fall in one of your houses, do I happen to see who they really are in that area of life? Maybe. That's a great perspective to develop on that. I've never looked at it like that, but that is something that is worth considering. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I love y'all. I appreciate your support. You did. We'll be back on Friday. Thank you, Tawny.